difficult to understand. Seeing in action and symptoms of the detached workers. So, uh, yeah, Arjuna says karma. The karma theory is very complicated. Can you throw some light, Krishna? And Krishna says, Kim karma, kim akarmeti, kavayo api, atra mohita, tatte karma pravakshyami. Tatte karma pravakshyami yaj gnatva mokshashi asubha. Yes, what is karma, what is akarma, and what is vikarma? These are three things. Even great intelligent people don't understand. One person is working, but he is not getting entangled. Another person is working, he is getting entangled. One person is not working, he is getting entangled. Another person is not working, he is getting entangled. What is this? कर्मणो हि अपि बोद्धव्यम च विकर्मणा अकर्मण च बोद्धव्यम गहना कर्मणो गति. The intricacies of actions are very, very hard to understand, Krishna. Kings like Janak Maharaj, saints like Prabhupada, they are working, but they are not getting entangled. Whereas a person is others, people are working and they do good and they get good results. They do bad, they get bad results. What is this? The intricacies of actions are very, very hard to understand. Therefore, one should properly understand what is action, what is karma, and what is forbidden action, that is vikarma, sin, and what is uh, inaction, that is activities that is going to please Krishna. So there are three kinds of activities one person can do. One, he can do some good activity so that he becomes rich. He gets some piety. Or he can do some activity which is impious, sin, and he can bring trouble to himself. But both the activity, pious and impiety, he is doing for himself. I want money. One way is I worship Lakshmi Devi and I get money, and work and I get money. Another way is I want money. I go to the bank and rob and come. So one is pious way, one is impious. But the benefit is for me. But there is the third kind of activity I do. I just don't want anything for myself. I just want to please my spiritual master and Krishna. So that kind of activity is called akarma or inaction. So that kind of activity which we do to please Krishna is what is called Nishkam Karma Yoga, Bhakti Yoga, Buddhi Yoga. These are words indicating one thing. कर्माणि अकर्मय पश्चाद अकर्माणि च कर्मय सा बुद्धिमान मनुष्येषु सा युक्तः कृष्ण कर्म कृ. One who sees in action in action is intelligent among men, and he is transcendental position, although engaged in all sorts of activities. One person is saying Prabhupada is making temples. How much? 108. And he has written 89 plus books. And he has made more than 10,000 disciples. And he has given more than 2,000 lectures. And he has given so many interviews. And he is meeting people. He is doing so much, but he is not getting entangled. He is in action, but there is no reaction, karma. But whereas a person is going to the bank and trying to rob and is caught and put into jail. So what is this? It's like this. When a soldier is fighting for the nation and kills the enemies, he is given an award. The same soldier, when he goes to his village to fight and he fights with his neighbor because the neighbor broke his gate. So he's doing for his own sake and he shoots the neighbor. Immediately there's court martial and he's put into behind the bar. What is the difference? In first case, he's doing because he's authorized to do. In a second case, he's doing activities which is not authorized. Similarly, Prabhupada is doing activities which is authorized. That's why he's not into uh, entangled. He's not entangled by karmic action. Whereas the other person, ordinary people, they act for their own self. That's why they are entangled. They do unauthorized activities. That's why they are entangled. It's very difficult to understand. Yasya sarvesam aramba kama sankpa vivarjita jnanam nidakta karmana tam tu panditam buddha. So Krishna, Arjuna, in this battlefield, whatever you do, you are doing to please the spiritual master and Krishna. Your bow, Gandiva, is the spoon, and the arrow is the ghee, and the battlefield is the Yagya Kunda, the sacrificial arena, and the Kauravas are the fire in which the arrow is going, the ghee arrow is going, swaha swaha. And what the activity in this yajna, you are the Brahmana, and fighting is the yajna, and Gandiva is the spoon, and the arrows are ghee, and the Kauravas are fire, and what you doing is swaha swaha. So Arjuna saying, what kind of yajna is this? Please tell me. There are other kinds of yajna. Yajna means sacrificial act to please you. Is there? Can you give more examples to simplify this? Yes, everybody has to do yajna. The karma, because by doing yajna, by doing yajna, the mind becomes pure, and the mind becomes pure, divine knowledge comes. So everybody has to do yajna. By doing yajna, what happens? Mind becomes pure. And if mind becomes pure, the teachings of Bhagavad Gita, divine knowledge, enters our heart. Tyagya karma. So different people do different kinds of yajna. What are who are the different kind of people? Brahmachari, grahastha, Banprastha, Sannyasi, Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Sudra, Sannyasi, all of them, there are different kind of people, they can do different kind of yajna. The aim is to purify the heart. Yajna is done to purify. And what happens if the mind gets purified? We get the divine knowledge. And what happens if we get the divine knowledge? Come what may be, at all time, all place, all circumstance, we will be blissful, peaceful, and happy. त्यक्ता कर्म फलम संगम नित्य तृप्तो निराश्रय कर्माण्यभिप्रवृत्तो अपि नैव किंचित करोति स. Abandoning all attachment to the results of his activities, ever satisfied and independent, he performs no productive activities, although engaged in all kinds of activities. Nirashri निराशीर्यत चित आत्मा त्यक्त सर्व परिग्रह शरीरम केवल कर्मा कुर्वम नाप्नोति किल्बिषाम. Without acting we cannot do without acting we cannot even maintain body. Oh Krishna, pure devotees also work. Yes, Arjuna, yes, they will work little, minimum input, maximum output. Like Raghunath Das Swami, he used to drink chas in 3 days and he used to sleep for 2 hours every day. But like Prabhupada used to sleep 2 hours and used to meet people and take massage. And yeah, taking massage, taking little prashadam, that is input. But that is allowed. Krishna's in the Vedas it is said, in Upanishad it is said, uh, Ishavasham idam sarvam yat kinchin jagatyam tega ten taktena bhunjita magrida kasya sridhanam. Yes, minimum input is accepted. Yadricha labha santushto danda atito matsara samasiddho asiddho cha vipapi na nibadyate. And such a devotee is satisfied with whatever comes, whether it's a palace or hut. Prabhupada is in Los Angeles, in the best More different kinds of yajna. Yes. Gata Sangasya, Gata Sangasya, once again. Gata Sangasya Muktasya, Jnanavastita Chetasa, Yajna Acharata Karma, Samagram Praviliyate. For a man who is unattached, like Prabhupada, who is fully situated in divine knowledge, he is transcendental. Yajna, everybody has to done. What are the different kinds of yajna, Arjuna? Yes, for a Brahman, there is a different kind of yajna. For a Kshatriya, there is a different kind of yajna. For a Vaishya, there is a different kind of. For a Brahmachari, there is a different. Brahma Arpanam, Brahma Vir, Brahma Agno, Brahma Hutva, Brahma Eva Tena Gantavyam, Brahma Karma Samadhina. Everybody has to do yajna. By doing yajna, the mind becomes pure. If mind gets pure, we get divine knowledge. And if we get divine knowledge, our life becomes blissful, peaceful, and wonderful. A person fully absorbed in Krishna consciousness. Brahmana has got a different kind of a yajna. Daivam eva peryagyam yogena paryupasate brahma agno apare yajnanam yagne eva pajuhate. The yogis, they do a different kind of yajna. They try to please the demigods. That is the yajna for them. But some other yogis, they put fire and try to please the Supreme Brahman. So that is the yajna. Why they are doing? To purify the mind. And by purifying mind, what happens? Divine knowledge comes. And what happens? Life becomes blissful, peaceful, and wonderful. Stotra ni indriyani anye samya agnishu juhati shabdadin vishayan anya indriya agnishu juhati. For the brahmacharis, the unadulterated brahmacharis, they sacrifice the hearing process. They don't hear words here and there. They just hear the mantras and the pastimes of the Lord. And for the grahasthas, they have to give some donation, and that is the sacrifice. So in this way, by doing this, the brahmachari grahastha doing yajna, the mind gets purified, and by purifying mind, what happens? We get divine knowledge. Sarva indriyani karmani prana karmani cha apare atma samyama yogyagno juhati jnana dipyate. Others who are interested in self achieving divine knowledge control their mind. They do tapasya and they stop the breathing and control the breathing. Inhale, exhale, stop the breathing. All this they do to purify the mind. And if this is yajna for them, by doing yajna, mind becomes purified. If mind gets purified, we get divine knowledge. And if it gets divine knowledge, life becomes peaceful, blissful, and wonderful. Dravya yajna, tapo yajna, yoga yajna, tapa are, swadhya jnana yajna cha, yatta ya samasita vrita. There are different, some people take a lot of vow of fasting. Other people, they give donation, and others perform severe austerities. They sit in fire on the in summer season, and in cold they dip in cold water. And some people do Ashtanga yoga. Some study the Vedas. All these are yajnas, different folks, different strokes for different folks. And it is yajna. It is meant for purifying the mind, and mind gets purified. What happens? Life, we get divine knowledge, and if we get divine knowledge, what happens? Uh, Life becomes blissful, peaceful, and simply wonderful. Apani juhite prana, prane apana tapare, pana pana gati rutva, pranayam parayana. Apare nitya aharaha pranam praneshu juhati. Till others are inclined in controlling the breath, like Dhruva Maharaj, like others are practice offering uh, uh, there are others who control the outgoing and ingoing breath, and uh, others stop breathing. Some people stop eating also, and others in this way they perform yajna. By doing yajna, what happens? Mind becomes pure, and mind becomes pure. Then what happens? We get divine knowledge, and when we get divine knowledge, at all time, place, circumstances, we are so peaceful, blissful, and life becomes simply wonderful. Oh Krishna, which is there are many kinds of yajna. Which yajna is better than the yajna? What is the best kind of yajna? Sarve api eti, different strokes for different folks. Sarve api eti yajna vido, yajna shapati kalmasha, yajna stista amritam bhujo, yanti kar brahma sanatanam. All these performers who know the meaning of the sacrifice are cleansed of the sinful reaction. The mind becomes pure, and mind becomes pure. One gets divine knowledge, and when one gets divine knowledge, life becomes simply blissful, peaceful, and simply wonderful. Yeah, nayam loka asti ayajnasya kuto anya kuru sattama. Oh, best of the Kuru dynasty. Without sacrifice, one cannot live happily in this life, in this planet. Forget about being peaceful in the next life, in next planet. Everybody has to do yajna. Without yajna, nobody can be happy. In this way, I have described different kinds of yajna. Evam bahu vida yajna, vitata brahmano mukhe, karmajam vidhi tan sarvan, evam granta vimukshashi. All these different kinds of sacrifices are approved by the Vedas, and of all of them are born from different types of work for different strokes for different folks. Knowing them as uh, when we get into this yajna, mind becomes purified. When we get mind get them purified, we get divine knowledge. When we get divine knowledge, what happens? Life becomes blissful, peaceful, and simply wonderful. Which is better than and which is the best yajna, Krishna? Priyan Dravya Madhya Yajna, Jnana Yajna Param Tapa, Sarvan Karma Akila, Partha, Jnana Parishama, Yate, O Chashashadhara enemy Param Tapa. The sacrifice performed in knowledge is better than mere sacrifice of giving donation or material possession. Gyan Yajna is the best. That's why Gita Gyan is better than Annadan and other yajna. After all, O son of Pritha, of all the sacrifice culminates in transcendental knowledge. The aim of all is to attain transcendental knowledge, blissful mind becomes purified. When mind becomes purified, we get divine knowledge. And when we get divine knowledge, life becomes blissful, peaceful, and simply wonderful. Oh Krishna, you have mentioned so many yajna, and I did all of them. I have studied the Vedas. I have given charity. I have uh, uh, did controlling of breathing, etc., etc., etc. But I am not getting divine knowledge. I am confused. Tell me some simple method by which I can. Tell me some simple method by which I can get the divine knowledge. What is the simplest yajna? Please tell me, Krishna. You want to know the simplest method? Forget everything. Just go to a spiritual master and pay obeisance unto him and sit with a folded hand and listen to what he has to say with in a humble, submissive mood. तद्विधि प्रणिपातेन परिप्रश्नेन सेवया उद्देशान्ति ते ज्ञानम ज्ञानिना tattvadarshina. This is the best method. And Kapila Muni said the same thing to Devahuti. He said that I am a lady and I am very weak and unintelligent. Tell me something simple. Kapila Muni said, uh, uh, said, just go to a authentic spiritual master, pay obeisance in a submissive way with folded hands, simply listen and be happy and blissful. Just try to learn the truth by approaching the spiritual master. Inquire from him submissively, and render service to unto him. The self-realized soul, the self-realized soul will impart knowledge unto you because they have seen the truth. When you listen from such a self-realized soul, you will never go into illusion again, again, again. Yajgnatva na punarmoham evam yashashi pandava ena bhutani asheshani drakshyashi atmani atomai. Once we surrender to the spiritual master, we will never ever be disturbed. Our mind will be purified. We will get the divine knowledge. And with this divine knowledge, all time, all place, all circumstance, we will be peaceful, blissful, and life will be simply wonderful. Then why are we disturbed? Some may ask. That is because they have not completely surrendered. Sakriteva prapannam. Just surrender completely, sincerely, and seriously. And see, life becomes blissful, peaceful, and simply wonderful. This divine knowledge, Arjun, this divine knowledge is the best thing in this world. Nothing is better than this. This is the most sublime and wonderful thing. Vicheda asi pape bhya sarve bhya papa kritama sarvan jnana plavin eva vrijinam santarishasi. Greatest of the sinner, the lustiest of the people, envious and the jealous personified people, when they took this process of Krishna consciousness, they have been purified. Nothing is better than this world. Ajamil was the lustiest person, and Diti was so angry and envious, and the Chitraket was greedy to get one son. He married one wife, 10 wives, 100 wives, 1,000 wives, 10,000 wives, 1 lakh wives, 100 lakh wives, 1 crore wives to get one son. But he was still unsatisfied. But Valmiki was a dacoit. He was such a sinful person. But he met a spiritual master. He heard from him and he became peaceful and blissful. Mrigari was such a cruel killer. He used to kill animals half dead. But he met his spiritual master. He became peaceful, blissful, and his life was simply wonderful. This divine knowledge is the best thing in this world, and to get this divine knowledge is the best thing that can happen to us. Yeta id amsis samsiddho agnir basmasat krurte arjuna jnana agni sarva karmani basmasat urte tata. Like there is a dry mountain of grass, a dry grass, and immediately a fire comes and the whole grass becomes into fire, into ashes. Similarly, the mountain of sin, with the fire of divine knowledge, gets burnt, and only ashes remains. So the divine knowledge is the most important thing. Nahi jnanena sadrishyam pavitram eha vidyate Swayam yoga samsiddha kalin atmani vindati. In this world, there is nothing so sublime, 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 and pure, pure, pure as transcendental knowledge, transcendental knowledge, transcendental knowledge. Such knowledge is the mature fruit of all mysticism, all mysticism, all mysticism. And one who has become accomplished in the practice of devotional service enjoys this knowledge within himself and is peaceful, blissful, and his life is wonderful, 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 wonderful. Shraddhavan labhate jnanam tatpara samyate indriya jnanam labdha param shantim achire na adhigacchati. Very quickly he gets his life is transformed from painful to blissful, and a faithful man who will get this divine knowledge? Only a faithful person. A faithless person cannot get this divine knowledge. And who is very submissive and controls his senses is eligible to attain this divine knowledge. And having attained, he attains the supreme peace and bliss. Agyancha ashwadadana cha samsayatma vinishyati nayam lokasti na paro na sukam samsa ya atmana. A person who is ignorant and who has got no faith is always doubting. The revealed scripture cannot attain the divine consciousness. They fall down. For doubting soul, there is no happiness. For doubting soul, there is no happiness. Neither in this world nor in the next. Yoga Sansayata Karmana Jnana Sanchina Samsaya Atmavantam na Karmani Nibadanti Dhananjaya. O conqueror of riches, Dhananjaya, Dhananjaya, Dhananjaya. I will consider you as a real Dhananjaya if you conquer the wealth of divine knowledge, wealth of divine knowledge. One who acts in devotional service, renouncing fruits of his action, but and whose doubts have been destroyed by transcendental knowledge is factually established in self, and he is peaceful, blissful, and his life is simply wonderful. So Dhananjaya, get up, take the sword of divine knowledge and cut the enemy called as lust, 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 tashmad ajnana sambhutam, hitsmad jnana sit atmana, chitva evanam samsayam yogam adishto uttishta bharata, uttishta bharata. This is the second time Krishna is saying, third time Krishna is saying uttishta. So in the second chapter, two times, fourth chapter, third time, in the 11th chapter, again, he will say, Uttishta. Therefore, the doubts which has arisen in your heart out of ignorance should be slashed with the weapon of divine knowledge. The history of knowledge has been told in the fourth chapter, and it has been, Krishna is giving to Vivaswan. And this divine knowledge is the best thing. And with the sword of divine knowledge, cut the uh, 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 cut the doubts which has arisen because of ignorance, and cut the lust and stand up and fight, fight, fight. Thus, let us also surrender to the spiritual master Srila Prabhupada, Acharya, and render submissively and please them. By doing that, the hippies have become happy, the Rusis have become rishis, the Chinis have become munis, and the Japanese started doing japa. The unhappy has become happy. This process is very powerful, simple, and easy. So let us not waste more time. Take this process, make our life blissful, peaceful, and simply wonderful. Hare Krishna. Any question at this stage?